Welcome to the Redvee TV show, supported by Chapel House Cars for the 2024 season. It's not behind you, Kev, it's behind me. 2 wins out of 2. Saints are looking to make it 3 on the bounce. Home turf again on Friday evening as the Leopards come to town, Kevin.
Yeah, and it's I think it's one that plenty are going to be looking forward to. Nice to get away from home and play Huddersfield, go and have a nice away day. But it's always good to get back home in your usual spec, isn't it?
It is. But we have an announcement to make, Kevin. Some of it, our viewers may have seen this on social media over the last couple of days. But after the success of our last Redvee forum in aid of Alex Walmsley's testimonial, we are doing it all again on the 18th of March. And this time we are doing it in conjunction with the Saints Community Development Foundation, who do such sterling work in the town, Kev.
They do indeed, and it's great to be able to support them. We've done it in the past with like the walk to Warrington, but it's great that we can put on a forum in conjunction with them and hopefully raise some good funds for them to carry on what they do.
Yes, and you'll see the photos from our last forum. Now, I felt it was important. Obviously, that's the layout of the room, but more importantly, Kevin, that was the food.
Well, yeah, our last forum ended up with one player not going back immediately for the second half. He will remain Alex Walmsley, nameless, but he didn't go back for the start of the second half because he was too busy enjoying the food because the food was that good.
Yes. Those who came to the last forum will be delighted to know we have chose the same menu again. Hosted by Mike Bennett, ex-Saint. The forum will see a couple of first-team players to be confirmed appear alongside Redvee's sponsored rising star and member of this week's 21-man squad, Noah Stevens, take to the stage to be questioned by Mike, and obviously we'll try and get some Q&A from the audience as well. Tickets are £20, includes the buffet, and we expect tickets to go fast. They are going fast, so if you're interested, please get in touch with us via the Redvee social media pages on X, Twitter, or Facebook. Or you may contact Dave Howarth if that is the man you normally channel your funds to, and his number is on the post as well. Monday, 18th of March, 7:30 in the Percival Suite at Ruskin Drive.
It promises to be a great evening, doesn't it?
It does. Kev will be signing autographs and posing. I'm posing for photos as well.
Fair enough.
For the fee.
That all goes to the community foundation, yeah.
Yes, every penny of that. Right. Better give your missus 50 quid, Kev.
You go to the Kev's holiday fund. Yeah. I mean, the community foundation.
No, give her £50 to pay her to have a picture with you.
All right, yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Right. Squad news, Kev.
Yes, 2 changes for Saints, as said. Redvee.net proudly sponsor Noah Stevens has come into the 21-man squad, as has Conrad Harrell, who missed out through illness, I think it was last week. And that's obviously going to bring a little bit of a dilemma to who starts in them 3 quarters. Matty Lees and T. Ritson miss out. Matty got taken off quite early on in the game against Huddersfield. And as you might have seen on the Saints website, actually coughed up a little bit of blood and is just being taken out of the firing line, hopefully as a precaution, and hopefully he will be back next week.
Yeah, obviously got taken to Huddersfield Hospital on Saturday evening just to get checked over. Glad to report via the Saints website that he was allowed to return home. So thank you to all of the NH staff over in Huddersfield for taking good care of Matty, and best wishes to Matty as he recovers. And as you say, Kev, hopefully not too serious.
Yeah, well, I like the fact that Paul Wells said in the week that they've had a laugh with Matty about it because he either gets really, really injured, or there's nothing wrong with him and he wants to go again. There's no in between with him. So they were laughing at the perforated bowel, if you can laugh at that he suffered against Leeds years ago, but that nearly finished his career, could have killed him even. And they say that it's a go hard or go home, isn't it, for Matty Lees? No in between.
You'll never hear a better punchline, Kev, than perforated bowel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not going to start the routine with it, but
as your encore. Right, I am convinced now, Kev. I reckon that the media manager must be onto it. The fact that last year everybody got onto it, that every time we put a picture of a player on the squad news, it meant he was going to be playing. And he's decided that he's going to mix it up this year. So last week he put Moses and Bay on the photo, made everybody think he was going to be playing because he was in the 21-man squad. And then he still missed out because he wasn't quite ready. The question is this week, Kev. It's like, this is like, remember Jasper Carrott with golden balls and you had to say whether...
Yes, split or steal, was it?
Split or steal. So the question is this week, Kev, we've got Conrad Harrell. Is he playing or is he not? And I think for us to decide this one, we're going to have to go to our picks.
Yes, definitely.
You've got him playing, which means that you share the money.
Yeah.
I've tried to steal and say he's not, so I get nothing.
Yeah, I've gone with him. I'm gone with him playing because I think Saints like to keep him fit and like to keep him going, rather than him having a couple of weeks out on the sideline, because it was just illness, I'll say. I almost think he'll come back in and it'll allow Wonga Blake to keep on getting that match fitness by being out over on the wing. That's pretty much just why I've gone for it. I thought Wonga looked good in the centres. I think he looked strong defensively, showed a little bit as well going forward, but not too much. And that's not a criticism at all. But I just think with Connie, we want to try and keep him fit. And if you keep him fit by playing games. And I just think that this is the perfect opportunity. I also think when we try and balance out squads, and listen, we're going at this with only 2 weeks previous to have a guess at, I would say Connie's probably above John Bennison in the pecking order. Possibly. So I think that's why he gets his place in the three quarters and John doesn't. And to be fair, it's really harsh on John because despite some ludicrous shouts on social media before the game, I thought he had a great game on Saturday evening.
Yes, and that beautifully segues into my team. I've got John Bennison retaining his place on the basis that he has come into the team on Saturday. He's been absolutely rock solid defensively, took every high ball that he needed to, scored a great try, was involved in the length of the field one that resulted in Wellesby going in under the sticks. I don't see how you can drop him based on that performance. And equally, I don't think it benefits Wonga Blake from playing on the wing 1 week, centre last week, and then back on the wing this week. I'd just like him to get that little bit of consistency in one role and allow him to build a little bit of a partnership. And given that John Bennison played so well, I don't see a reason to rock the boat unless, as you say, you want to get Conrad Harrell fit and firing. And I could go, listen, you could go with either. There's arguments for both.
Another thing that I forgot to say when I was giving me reasons for Connie is, if you're missing Matty Lees, so you're going a little bit lighter in the forwards, and you look at that bench, and if Moses is back, you're obviously taking like George Delaney off that bench, so you're making it a smaller bench. Again, no criticism. You may need some of them carries that Connie brings. So that's another reason why I've gone with him starting. Again, as we say, we're picking this off 2 weeks, and one of them, Connie, was ill.
Yes. One man we forgot to talk about, Kev.
Yeah.
Who is he?
It's number 31. It's Redvee.net sponsored Noah Stevens.
We forgot him already?
We haven't. I mentioned him first up.
Oh, we didn't. Yeah, to be fair, we mentioned him in He's first team 21-man squad member Noah Stevens, who will be appearing at our forum. Great to see him being rewarded, obviously, for his whatever he's doing in training, hard work, making that 21-man squad this week. Real good shot in the arm just to be around and see what goes on in a match day. I don't think either of us, any fan, will be expecting him to make the 17 this week, but just to have him around the squad can only be good for him.
Yeah, I think it's similar to when Jake Burns was named in round one, that it's good for that experience, for that, listen, this is what we expect of you on match day. This is what you do. They're used to playing games, but at this level, it's probably another step up and another little bit of experience, as we say, for him. I know you asked me before, would I be surprised to see Noah in the 17? I probably would, unless Moses doesn't make it again. And then if you're looking at Jake Wingfield Jake Wingfield would be probably the backup 9 if we needed to spell Darrell Clark. Do you then put a big body on the bench as opposed to a Sam Royal or Ben Davis? Is it more likely to be a Noah Stevens who comes in? And it could be good that, listen, if he came on for last 5-10 minutes of the first half, played the first 5-10 minutes of the second half, and it buys you a good chunk of time for someone to kind of sit on the sideline to get the breath back, as we like playing people in them long stints. George Delaney did it on Saturday against Huddersfield. So that's the way that I could almost see him getting on the bench. As it is, I'm sorry, Noah, I don't see it coming this week.
When you talk about wanting a big bod on the bench, Kev, is that to deal with the threat of former St. Dan Norman?
It's to deal with all those forwards, yes. Listen, I was expecting almost, I don't know why I was expecting Lee to not quite have as first choice of squad as that out. But they're missing 2 in Tom Amone and Edwin Ipape. Ipape's injured. Tom Amone has got banned. He got grade C for accidental head contact. Challenged that, got it down to grade B. Then unsuccessfully challenged his grade B, so he got a game ban and misses today. This is Friday even.
I've seen that Tom Amone instance. I'm genuinely still baffled about what he's actually done.
Yeah, it's an absolute. It's one that you just. I think you said. Did you put it on our Twitter saying you'd watched it like a dozen times or half a dozen times or something, that you still can't see what was wrong with it?
I can't even see the head contact. I'm not entirely sure whether it's in the tackle, it's head-to-head contact, or as he put his hand on the man's head after he's played the ball, which would be absolutely ludicrous. I think somebody suggested that on the Twitter, but I've genuinely no clue.
Yeah, it's one that I kind of feel for Lee missing him in this game, because I, as you say, with that clip, you just don't see it. As it is, he brought Oliver Holmes and Brad Dwyer. Brad Dwyer's in on loan from Warrington. He's not got a sniff for them. So get on him first try in front of the West Stand on Friday night, no doubt.
Yes. On Friday, before the game, Kev, the food bank will once again, like every game this season, be collecting outside the ground. You can bring all range of food. And Kev, before the London game, we caught up with Jim from the food pantry, who told us all about the work that they do. Joining me outside Saints is Jim from the mobile food pantry, here collecting for the St Helens Food Bank before tonight's home game against London. Here for every game during the year as well?
Yeah, we'll be here every game this year. Basically collecting for food banks in St Helens.
Just how important is it, with the way the world is at the moment, for these food collections?
Yeah, it's very important. I mean, there's 10 food banks in St Helens, and then obviously there's a food pantry that we run as well. But the food banks provide obviously emergency food to anybody that's in need, really, through a voucher scheme. So what we collect today, if everybody could bring one tin, what we collect today goes direct to them.
What's the best sort of food items to bring?
We've got a list. I mean, any ambient food that will have a good shelf life, so they can use it as and when they need it. Because sometimes they'll have a glut of beans, other times they'll need soup, you know what I mean, and things like that. So any ambient food that's got a good shelf life on it will come in handy.
And obviously, if anybody hasn't got a tin they've got with them to bring, they can also donate as well.
Yeah, we've got a text service which is on the. Just give me 1 second. On the back of the aprons that the volunteers use. So
if you text 70470 and you text fans for food 5, you can also donate £5 that way as well. But obviously you're going to be every home game, so throughout the year, any fan coming to the game, make sure you bring a tin with you.
Yeah, that would help us tremendously, yeah.
Fans supporting food banks, it's obviously been so successful with a lot of the local football clubs. I know they helped set this up. Wouldn't it be great if we could replicate this across rugby league?
Yeah, I mean, Everton, Liverpool, United City all basically collect at match games, and I think Everton, Liverpool collect around 3 tons of food on a match day. I mean, obviously Saints, not as many fans, but you know, we could do a good effort to that, basically, you know what I mean?
I think it'd be really great, obviously, when away fans are visiting the Totally Wicked Stadium, if they could reciprocate, bring the food here.
Yeah.
And when we go away there, if our fans could take to their food banks as well, if they've got similar services outside too.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Warrington have got a food pantry collection set up, or food bank, as of Hull and a few other clubs. What we will do is try and identify which clubs have got as we're going away to matches. I think Huddersfield is our next one. I think there is a collection there, but I will verify that and let people know beforehand. Last season, when Hull came over, we donated a couple of crates of food to Hull Food Banks, because they do a similar thing at Hull. Yeah, obviously with the relationship of Steve Prescott and what have you, we sorted that through the Steve Prescott Foundation.
I think obviously rugby league is such a great community sport, family sport, and this just adds to it even further once again. I think the work that yourself and the rest of the volunteers, admirable work, and great to see you supporting the local community and making sure the food gets to where it's needed.
Yeah, it certainly is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Great stuff, Kev. It was nice to see you be cameraman for a change on these interviews.
Yeah, it was a nice change up, and great to speak to Jim and see the good work that they do. Listen, we say, and we've said it time and time again, we wish there didn't have to be food banks or food pantries or whatever, but in the world that we live in, they're a necessity for some people, and as long as they're supporting the good people of St Helens and the local area, they'll have our support.
I'm really disappointed that they decided to use the former world darts champion rather than me or you next to Jim on the photo.
I know, absolutely shocking.
But yeah, I think it was something like 11 kilograms of food they collected at the London game, which is a tremendous start. And now people know exactly where they're going to be, not far from the Kieran Cunningham statue where we film our Redvee TV after the games. Make sure, just bring a bag this week, put a couple of tins in, whatever you've got in the cupboards. If you need to nip into Tesco to get something, everything will be gratefully appreciated by the food pantry, by the food bank, by the people of this town who will benefit from it.
Exactly right, David. Exactly right.
Right, Kev, to finish off then, give us your predictions.
The one thing I'm not going to do is fall in love with ourselves a little bit too soon this season with regards to Saints. No, not you, and not myself either. With regards to Saints, I think I scored us was it an 8 after the game for a round two game. I think there's promising signs, but I am going to temper that. If we complete like we did against Huddersfield, we'll win this game by over 20 points.
I was going to say 96% completion rate.
Yeah.
Keep the opposition scoreless away from home, and you still only scored us an 8.
I'm just not falling in love with ourselves too early, because nothing is won in February. I'm not falling in love with us because, as well, as I pointed out, I don't think Huddersfield gave us any type of problems really, or nothing major anyway. But we have a completion rate like that is 20, 30 points and the rest. As it is, I'm going to go Saints by 14.
Okay, yeah. Lee will be disappointed by their round one performance where they got beat by the Giants. They've had an extra week's training, extra week to prepare, given that they didn't have a game last weekend because of another game that was going on somewhere else. I think they'll bounce back a little bit, and I think they're just that sort of rum side who will come to the Totally Wicked Stadium as they've done in the past and give us a challenge. I'm going to go Saints by 10.
Happy days. I do agree with you about Lee. I just think that week off and us being another week better for full performance rather than a week off may just see us home a little bit easier. He says,
You just know Big Dan doesn't come back to haunt us, don't you?
Yes.
Do you think he will? Right, now you're at the end of this video, rewind all the way back to the front, find out how to buy a ticket for the Redvee Forum, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we will catch you Friday evening for the instant reaction, hopefully, after making it 3 wins, House of 3. Catch you soon.